What is up, everybody? We are back with the one, the only Davis Mattek, looking like a rugged mountain man. He looks like he's been in battle. He's seen some things. How you doing today, Davis?
I'm doing great, man. I'm letting my facial hair grow right now because I'm getting married here in a little bit, and I don't know what I want to do with my facial hair yet. And I can always shave it off or get it trimmed or cut or whatever before the wedding, but I can't make more facial hair grow. So the move right now is to just let it go and see what we end up doing.
All right, guys, you heard him. He said he'll do whatever the chat says. Press 1 for mustache, press 2 for keep the beard, and 3 to shave it off. We'll see your comments. We are doing a drafters draft, drafters.com today. We are going to be doing a draft. Davis and I are both in the draft. The draft has filled. Thank you, guys.
Wow, amazing. Let's go, boys.
Let's fucking go. You know, you give the people a little bit of notice, and they join. Let's see what draft positions we got. I'm drafting from the 5 slot today, and Davis again from the 7th. I think
you get the 5 spot is such the money spot in best ball drafts because you cannot get a non-tier 1 player.
Yeah, and I would even extend that to the 106 because I include Austin Eckler.
Not on underdog though, right? Eckler is a clear tier worse on underdog, but on drafters, I think
underdog,
you're right.
I just I want to bet on the best player, offensive player on like one of the best teams in the NFL, and like, okay, yeah, I think Eckler ran hot on touchdowns, but I think
I think you're wrong.
I mean, you're wrong. Injury risk. He's getting a little older, sure, but like,
not even that. They have forecasted for Eckler's entire career that they want a guy to take some of the workload off of him. They tried it again. So if Spiller is actually like, even Kalen Ballage was taking work away from Austin Eckler. If he can be better than Kalen Ballage, we are looking at, and I'm not nagging Eckler. I'm not saying I wouldn't take him 106.
Sounds like a little fun in the chat, guys.
But I am just saying, to me, he is in the second tier of round 1 players.
I understand that. I had Kyle Dvorak on the channel the other day, and we talked about Eckler as well, and he said, well, hey, like, if they take the low value, the low value touches away from him, like, 2nd and 1 from the 50-yard line, like, who gives a fuck? And I brought up, like, oh, like, maybe Spiller is going to be a bit more of the goal line role. And he's like, I think they're going to play their best running back.
No, they won't do that. They won't do that. The guy I could actually see end up being considered a first-tier player, a month after the season or whatever, is Dalvin Cook. I'm pretty bullish on Dalvin Cook relative to what most people seem to be expecting for him.
Thank you, Ryan. I like Dalvin as well, but I tweeted out the other day, think about the first-round players' ADP. Which ones do you think are, like, list them in the order of how likely you think they're going to be a first-round pick again. And even though Cook could have a good season, I think he's drawing pretty thin to repeat. We're going to add to our Jamar Chase, of course. I think he's drawing thin to repeat as, like, a first-round pick next year, just with all the young running backs in the league. Like,
but the same thing is true of Christian McCaffrey, who's 28, and it's like if McCaffrey gets hurt again this year, that's it. He will no longer be this guy.
Only like 26?
I mean, yeah, but 26 for a running back is old.
Yeah, I mean, look, the injuries.
Yeah,
sure,
he just turned 26, but if he gets hurt again,
you could say the same thing about every running back in the first round except for Jonathan Taylor.
That's the only point I'm making, which is that these guys are just going to be drafted based on how they finish, but if they finish poorly because of injury, they will get nagged.
So we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, jumping right into the player takes today. Let's see. Davis took Cook, so he's on brand there. A couple things I want to say. Drafters is at about a 10% fill rate. Last time we had you on the channel, you were pretty confident.
I was wrong.
It would fill. I was on the overlay side. I met the owner of Drafters in Vegas for the WSOP. He was out there as well playing some poker events. Hooked me up with this cool shirt. We'll have to.
I got a shirt too. I should have worn it. I think it's in the wash right now, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna change shirts for the underdog stream later today. But drafters.com, promo code Chesliam or promo code Davis. Doesn't matter to me. Matters to Davis though. Who who
Yeah,
you should,
I didn't win the world's biggest best ball fantasy football tournament last year, and I'm getting married, which I don't know if you guys know this, but marriage is in the middle of the greatest period of inflation in American history. Not
and
to be
you had the worst moment of your life when you had to regretfully sell your top shot at the absolute top.
Oh man, how good is that? I was just talking to my buddy. I had a golf weekend this last week, and I was just talking to my buddy, and I was like, I turned a Tyler Hero Top Shot into buying a house. So it's like it was like a good trade, right? The values of houses and of non-fungible tokens,
great
pretty inverse charts.
Yeah, but so guys, just just explain the overlay if you don't know. I'm sure many of you do, but if a contest doesn't fill, the prizes are still guaranteed. So this is a $250,000 to first contest. So I mean, what's your guess at what the fill rate? It's really hard for me to guess. Like
I mean,
could
I
see
just
it
don't. I
landing
don't know. I don't know how
50%.
aggressive. I don't know how aggressive they'll get with the marketing. Really, is the only thing.
I mean, I think we're part of the marketing brand right now.
Sure.
Getting people set up on the site, but yeah, I don't know. Like it's really hard for me to tell. I think just like naturally, Twitter accounts will notify people if contests are going to overlay.
Sure.
But I mean, even underdogs contest,
It's about 28% right now, I think.
it's like 31%. So
Sure.
I'm not even sure if they're going to fill.
Buddy, that's gonna fill. The Best Ball Mania 3 is gonna fill.
I think it will too, especially because I don't think they'll give people puppies if it's looking like it might not.
Well, they just announced a $1 million prize pool puppy starting August 1st, but that'll be the last one. That'll be the last one.
That is good. That is good news because that's probably like a $250K to first again. And yeah. I mean, look, 50K is a lot of money, but we're always drawing thin to win the contest. And I've not been firing too much at the other puppies, but a 250K to first puppy, I might max that bad boy.
I've been firing heavy
at the pups.
Yeah, I have 9 slow puppies going in because right was about to fill. It was like 98% fill, and I just drafted all the rest of them.
Matt, just buy a VPN if you can't draft in PEA. No, I'm kidding. Don't. This is not real advice. Yeah. So Davis, I have not been in the NFL streets for a little bit. With me playing the WSOP.
Well, you picked a good time to be away because not shit has happened.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is I asked all the guests, had Pat on, had Kyle on. They've all been pretty much like, nah, nothing. So that's good timing. Tobby said I still have 45 slow puppies going. Please tell me that's not the puppy one. And just our teams, because Davis will be uploading this to audio. Davis has a Cook Samuel start, and I have a Chase Andrews start. After we end this, I'd like to show people how they can see their exposures on Drafters. Also, Drafters giving us night mode. That's big.
This is a nice upgrade. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take AJ Brown. We got AJ Brown's been following. Let's talk about a little about the ADPs. Mark Andrews earlier in the season was a 2-3 guy. Now it seems like he's trending that way again. People are maybe they're just more bullish on Lamb. Mike Evans has kind of replaced his plays. People love Swift, Aaron Jones. So Andrews is falling a bit. Davis, no hesitation, rips Kyle Pitts off. So he's got all 3 of the skill positions he's got an anchor for. I like to build teams that way as well. I got a 0 running back.
I made fun of you. I made fun of you for this last time, but it's like when you can get the anchor quarterback or tight end, in the 4th, you can take your anchor Lamar in the 5th, your anchor Pitts, your anchor, whatever. There is just, it is what you said is totally true, which is it's kind of just smooth on your brain to be like, I got the stud running back, I got a stud wide receiver, I got a stud tight end. Like, it does feel good.
Well, I mean, for drafters specifically, we arguably should be drafting that way. And like I said, fill the roster, which is like sometimes like a donkey term, but you don't need to fill quarterback, right? Like you can leave.
Yeah, sure.
Just like fill the skill positions, have like this guy drafting after me, if he stopped at 2 running backs and hammered wide receivers, like that seems smart. You know, maybe detour for tight end or whatever. Mountain Man Mattek, I love that nickname. Thank you, Kevin, for that addition. Guys, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Helps me do these free streams. Got another stream tonight. Tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to have on professional poker player Matt Berkey. Excited for that discussion because I think poker and best ball have some overlapping, both in that degenerates play the games and that.
Well, the biggest overlap it has is that there is a time cost to playing in different stakes. Like that's one of the things that doesn't overlap about poker and DFS is there's no time cost. You can just get down as much action as you want, but there's a real time cost to poker and best ball.
Yeah, and the other thing that I think is a good analogy between the two is that poker, 2 decades ago, like people were terrible, and I think all of us doing best ball, like we're probably all pretty terrible compared to like what's optimal.
Not me. I've been playing for long enough. I put in my 10,000 hours of best ball drafting, I think.
Look, brother, I mean, I think I'm as sharp as they come in the best ball streets, but compared to silicone, aka the artificial intelligence machines that will come in best ball eventually, like
see, I talked about this with Kyle Dvorak like 2 weeks ago or so. I think that it's unlikely that there are going to be really, really good models for best ball for quite some time because a lot of your inputs are going to be garbage.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that every human has had the hubris to think that their game can't be toppled by artificial intelligence, and Google has like people. Do you know the board game Go with like the black and white stones?
No.
Anyways, it's thought to be like many more eons complicated than chess, and therefore people thought computers could not topple it. And of course, Google destroyed.
Yeah, there are way more things you're controlling for in best ball than you are for.
I think the data is hard, but like I think if you have a smart player, like I think I could feed the machine good data to beat us, but it's so chaotic that like.
But what are you meaning by beat us though? Are you meaning win the whole thing, a good advance rate? Like you have to optimize for different things. I'm not saying it can't be done. Definitely, I think it will be done, but this is not one of those things where I think 2 years from now, like optimizers
I don't think
in
it's coming in
DFS.
2 years either. Partially because you have to realize, like I've seen some people in the poker space too discuss this. There's a fuckload more money bet on poker than best ball. Like these contests are big, but it is so small in the pie. Like we're talking billions, multiple billions for poker. Like you can't even capture this online stuff. It's not the same financial incentive to grind out these contests that are super high variance no matter what you do. Okay, we're gonna have to get just take a boring player, get a running back on the team.
I was really hoping I need to not get sniped here by Jay Supik. There's one guy I need here, and then I think there's a pretty big break.
I know.
Don't do it to me, Jay Supik. Take DK Metcalf or J.K. Dobbins or something.
All right. Well, let's talking about our teams. I have a Chase, Andrews, AJ Brown, Allen Robinson, and then took David Montgomery. Davis went Cook, Samuel, Pitts, Gabe Davis, and then got his Pat Mahomes. I was so on Drafters, they show you your ADP versus the ADP of what the player is now. And I didn't have that many Pat Mahomes teams, but my ADP was 36 because he used to go right here. And he's now, his ADP is like in the 50s. Which seems
this is going to be an all-time. People are going to look back and be like, "What were we doing for an entire offseason drafting Mahomes as the quarterback 5? Like, are we actually stupid? Or our brains did we all suffer from fetal alcohol syndrome for an entire offseason?"
So I was doing a main event draft the other night, and I had Mark Andrews on the team, and I had Juju Smith-Schuster, and like all the wideouts were pretty much gone, and the choice was take Lamar to pair with Mark Andrews or Mahomes to pair
I
with
would have taken Lamar because I think Lamar can break fantasy football even more than Mahomes can. The thing with Mahomes is you'll hear this argument that, oh, what if they're less efficient this season? Well, one, I don't think that'll be true, but even if they are less efficient, you're going to be talking about like 42 pass attempts per game for Mahomes. But Lamar can obviously be the MVP, run for 1,000. Like Lamar is just like it's like a different beast.
Yeah, it's really it was a hard choice, and I chose Lamar too because personally, like I think he's my quarterback too. If I had to just, obviously you're splitting hairs, and I did end up getting MBS, so I was like, and I could have taken Sky Moore, so I was like, dang, I kind of wanted Mahomes so I could super stack. David brings up the Go Solver documentary. It is really great I think it's on Netflix or something. You can watch the AlphaGo documentary. Wow. Okay, people are out on J.K. Dobbins. I'm gonna trust J.K. Dobbins.
He's bad, and I was between Dobbins.
You took Pollard over Dobbins. You're gonna Rappaport. You got Rappaported.
No, dude. I think this is because even if Rap Sheet is wrong, which like he is all the time, he's getting fed that info by someone with the Ravens, right? He's not getting fed.
I don't think it's that out of the question to think that in the slow news cycle, some of these big guys are just firing from the hip, and they're going to be right sometimes, and they're going to be wrong sometimes.
But there was another report on like the complexity of the injury that he had, where it's like Gus Edwards might not be ready by week 1, and he's ahead of J.K. Dobbins in terms of rehab.
But you saw that J.K. Dobbins quote tweeted Rap Sheet, right?
Yeah,
it was like
said like
wrong.
Right. So this is my thing on Dobbins. I'm pretty good with him actually, like eating a little bit of a discount on him on Underdog because again the whole thesis is all the money's in week 17, and J.K. Dobbins seems very. I mean he could run for 200 yards in week 17 against the Steelers if they're just up the whole game or whatever. But we talked about this the last time we did this show. These guys with suspension concerns, injury concerns, anything like that, you got to ding them like a good bit in this format because the points every single week matters, and missing weeks is like the worst. And we can talk about this Pollard thing here in a second.
Is Pollard's ADP in the 60s, or did you reach on him?
Oh, I reached because I just like I'm not taking Josh Jacobs and Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, I just think you could have gotten Pollard 79 a large clip of the time, right?
I could have, but this is the worst range of the draft, right? Round 6 and round 7 is the worst. I'm not saying this is definitely a do as I say, not as I do thing. I'm not telling you guys to do this, but it's like the bands for like the range of outcomes for like AJ Dillon, Miles Sanders, pretty close. Miles Sanders is probably who I should have taken, but again, this is round 6, round 7 is like the quarterback round generally, like or the injured wide.
Yeah, like I kind of want to take one of these guys with me on the clock. I think I'm going to take Antonio Gibson. I don't have a lot of him.
Sure.
B, I think there might be a little bit to the like haven't running backs in Carson Wentz offenses always done really good.
Well, like, the coaches get sick of watching Wentz throw the ball.
Well, that's what I'm kind of saying.
Yeah.
Like I don't like obviously
the problem is that he's getting pressure on both sides now. He's getting pressure around the goal line and on third down, so that's tough to overcome.
I think there's some like I don't have as much.
Do I take Ayuk or AJ Dillon here? What would you do if you have Debo? Would you take AJ Dillon or Ayuk here?
Well, you only have 2 wideouts, so I would probably go wide receiver, but I don't exactly want to help you. So I'd probably go Ayuk, but yeah, and then like Ayuk can just be like kind of the deep threat guy too. Like maybe he's like the spike week guy. I don't know. But Pollard too, like I think you could have gone AJ Dillon and Pollard if you wanted to, but summarizing our team so far through round 7, I have 3 running backs, 3 wideouts, a tight end, Montgomery, Dobbins, Gibson, wideouts, Chase Brown, Robinson, Mark Andrews is my tight end. Davis has got a Cook, Deebo Samuel, Pitts, Gabe Davis, Pat Mahomes, Pollard, and Brandon Ayuk start. Yeah, Matt said I don't want to help you. Shout out to my friend Greg, chess teacher. I'm doing guerrilla marketing for my subscribers. I'm texting my friends and said, hey, man, just check my subscribers. Why aren't you subscribed? Don't know how to check my subscribers, but it's a catch-all, like just guessing that 90% are not subscribed.
Those are the early days. The early days of content. Oh, this guy taking MVS before
Dave,
me.
I couldn't even get a retweet from you on the YouTube link. You did your own tweet. I thought that was a down bad start for the day.
I didn't even. You didn't. No, I retweeted you, dude.
Maybe you did. I'm just joking.
Of course I did.
Trey Lance will steal some touchdown equity on the ground. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think it's just like this whole wideout range is like some league winners are going to emerge from Ayuk until like the Chris Olave tier.
Yeah. I do not love having Debo and Ayuk here unstacked. I should have just taken MVS instead of Ayuk is what I should have done.
That's probably like if you were looking at it, you would have known MVS wouldn't make it back to you. I was gonna say you have to take Sky Moore there. You could have done Trey Lance, but it's really a lot at the quarterback position to be forcing that.
If the room does not snipe me here and Trey Lance comes back around, I will be taking him, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't think that's going to happen, mainly because I will take him if he is there. Don't mind telling the Herbert guy that. Yeah, I'll take a naked Trey Lance. Much better than a naked Russ or a naked Dak, even though there are later stack options with them. And it, like if I think Davis is a good drafter, which I do, it lets me kind of hedge against his team a little bit, where it's like, yes, Lance should correlate with your pass catchers, but also he can cuck your pass catchers if he does it on the ground.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's a good thing.
This team is probably hoping that Jimmy Garoppolo is the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Actually,
that is a 5% chance. The arm fatigue. I've never heard the arm fatigue. They're coming out of the woodworks for some FUD. What was I gonna say? Oh, let's talk about some of the fallers in the landscape. Burks.
Yes, gobbling that up.
My ADP is like 66. His ADP, like I have him on every main event team because I think he goes in like the 11th round, and I'm like, okay, like if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it seems like a high upside swing.
Yeah.
Remember last time, guys? Check that old video. Davis took Matt Ryan in the 9th round.
Something like that. He got clicked for me.
Will he repeat?
I do only have quarterback start in my queue right now, so it could happen.
Looking at my running back core, it's like such an ugly group that I don't like. I'm not like
that was why I took Pollard. Even if it was ahead ADP, at least I'm gonna look at it and be like, I don't hate that. At least I don't hate looking at that name. You know what I mean?
It's ugly, but like the bull case is there still. Like if these guys can average 16.5 PPR points, that's not that high of a benchmark for some of them. Then I have 3 usable running backs. Maybe Dobbins is a little later. Doesn't matter. Like it really comes down to like if Chase, AJ Brown, and Allen Robinson are smashing every week, like I can take 16.5 running backs, whereas Davis might be getting a 24 point, per game running back with Cook. But like how you built your team, you got a full squad, and I'm on the clock here. Man,
full Patterson. That's all that's important, right?
Patterson is someone that has really fallen.
He really has, and there's been like no reason for it, and it's not. There hasn't been a corresponding rise of like Algier or Damian Williams either.
No, there's no reason for it, and it's arguably like bad on. I'm gonna take Knox and be done at tight end. It's arguably bad on drafters. Like Patterson is much better on drafters.com than he is on Underdog, than he is on DK. Like any playoff format site, like obviously Patterson is a worse pick because he's an older player, but it's weird to draft without having to think about week 17 correlation. Well, Davis just keeps on thinking about it. He's claimed. So Guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. How are you feeling about your team so far, Davis? Scale of 1 to 10.
This is not my finest work. The double San Francisco wide receivers without Lance should have just taken Marquez Valdez-Scantling instead of Ayuk. I mean, I obviously hashtag in a vacuum like Debo and like Ayuk. And if Kittle gets hurt or is just like a run blocker or whatever, there are paths to them both getting there. But don't love it. I do like a running back room of Dalvin Cook, Tony Pollard, and Devin Singletary, though. I think there's lots of pass catching in that group, and I'm bullish on. I'm like much more bullish than the market on Devin Singletary.
Let's talk about that in a second, because I talked about that with Pat yesterday too, and I want but you passed on Patterson after.
Yeah, I like Singletary way better.
You do, okay.
Well, in general, I want to draft players on good teams that are going to score a lot of points. Like the Falcons right. Like might get blanked a couple times.
It's little less important on PPR sites where a guy can just do it through pass catching volume. But still, drafting players on good teams is like a tale as old as time, is like a way to be good at fantasy football. Real quick, I'll talk about my team before we discuss the Cook Singletary discussion. Feel good, but obviously I have 3 stud wide receivers, and I'm gonna, no one behind them. So gonna have to hit the wide receiver position here, get some volume there. Obviously feel like I'm gonna be strong at tight end. Would have liked Stafford to wrap around to me, but this guy just took a naked Stafford, which taking naked players is fine. Like, I like the way that the 12 hole approach this. Get 2 running backs, hammer wide out. Okay, Cook versus Singletary. So I think if there's a player that's going to break fantasy football this year, it's unquestionably, between those two, it's unquestionably Cook, not Singletary. I think Singletary is
why do we think that? Devin Singletary broke fantasy football like 6 months ago.
I don't think what Singletary did broke fantasy football. Like Singletary is
he was a top 10 running back like 5 out of 6 weeks to end the year.
For my portfolio, I'm going to take a falling Ken Walker. I think this questionable tag is maybe.
I could see that. I could see that people do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, especially on DK. So let's just talk about James Cook. Like, I don't know much about the college prospect. I know he weighs 199 pounds. He's a pass-catching guy. Singletary's a terrible pass catcher. My question is, do NFL players put on weight? Now, Cook came from Georgia. That's a blue blood program. But can this guy bulk up to Alvin Kamara weight? Like, I think the Bills' offense is unquestionably more scary when you have a player like James Cook on the field versus Singletary, just because he can catch pass, he's explosive, what have you. I could see James Cook being utilized a lot in 2 tight end sets where he gets flexed out to the slot wide receiver position late in the play, and you just have Josh Allen be your running back if you want to run it up the middle. Singletary is a very good runner. He's like very evasive. He dodges people in the hole. He breaks tackles. He's never going to house a play. So, let's just say, pretend Cook got the starting job, pretend Singletary got the starting job, and, one of these players is getting 80% of the snaps. We have to say Cook has a higher ceiling in that scenario. Maybe he won't. But James Cook, to me, at his floor... Is he
even really... I mean, I guess he's fast, but it's not like he had a ton of, huge...
Singletary is, 4.7 slow. He is... incredibly slow.
Yeah, but he was a super productive player in college in a way that James Cook was not. James Cook had 230 carries total in Singletary 4 years of college.
Went to
FAU.
Yeah, not exact. Or I'm gonna take Landry on this team. Actually, I need the points. The Singletary, I like him. He's good. If he gets a bunch of goal line usage, and there's been some rumblings they might, run the ball a bit more, but you're not going to run the ball that much with Josh Allen. I think James Cook at his floor is Nyheim Hines, right? This is a 12th round pick. At his ceiling, he is a 3rd round, 2nd round pick next year. I don't think Singletary, with his lack of pass catching, like what's his ceiling? Like if he smashes this year, what round is he going next year? He's like a maybe
James Cook.
like no Singletary.
If Singletary smashes his ceiling again, he can be a 3rd-round pick.
But with no pass catching, I mean, I guess like
he did catch passes when he was playing last year, though.
Yeah, but he's like the worst in the NFL at it. And like he is literally the
but
worst.
running, like a lot of running backs aren't that efficient at catching passes either. Like, they just do it because they're out there.
Well, that's all great and dandy when no one else on the team can do it, but when you have James Cook and Duke Johnson still alive.
I don't think Devin Singletary seems like a guy who can be like a 2nd-round pick, but he can also just be a guy who plays a lot of snaps, grinds out like 8 touchdowns, and it feels like the price is way too, like him going after a lot of these speculative value guys, him going after like Tony Pollard and the Seahawks,
like him
backs.
going next to Melvin Gordon, like obviously I'm Singletary way over that. And like I'm saying all this, but my exposure to Singletary and Cook are pretty even right now.
Yeah, I got way more Singletary. Also, because a lot of the times, just the way I draft, I'm sitting at that point of the draft, and I'm like, shit, I kind of like need a guy who's actually going to score some points because I'm looking kind of thin at running back.
Yeah, I just think like we have to say Cook has the higher ceiling because he catches passes, but like what's a Singletary smash? 15 points per game.
Something
12,
like that, yeah.
12 and a half. I like can Cook be Alvin Kamara light? That's the question. Can he put on some weight? Does he even need to put on weight? Is he the same player if he puts on weight? These are questions I don't really know, but like if James Cook weighs 210 next year instead of 199, that's a bit of a different story if he's still explosive and fast and whatnot. I don't know. As I was saying, I've pretty much split my exposure on the two, but I'm going to be paying close attention in camp. But I don't dislike Singletary. I want to be very clear there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they both kind of have their, like, depending on the type of team I'm drafting, you know what I mean? But I definitely just in general, the way I draft, I'm like needing points there more often. Don't make this. Oh, dude. Correct. What are you doing with Jameson Williams in the 12th round?
You don't like him?
They just said that the team just said this last week. They think he's not even going to be active until after Thanksgiving.
I was not looking at the ADPs because I was multitasking, so I didn't notice his ADP was down in the 150s, but it's a bet on talent. Jarvis Landry is a guy I'm expecting to slow. Like if Jarvis Landry can get me to Jameson Williams' ceiling is just fucking huge, and I'm going to go with me having 4 running backs. Like I'm happy to have like throwing a 5th or 6th.
Sure.
Like, I'm going to go real volume at wide receiver because I'm probably stopping at 2 tight ends, or I'll happily stop at 2. I'll add a 3rd if I really want to. Probably stopping at 2 quarterbacks too. And
I think I'm stopping at 2 quarterbacks, but I'm going to take 3 tight ends on this team, I think.
Yeah. So I don't know. The Cook versus Singletary thing, I think most people I don't know. The ADP is going to be really wrong on one of them. And
or really correct on both of them, right? Where it's like no. I mean, if they both stay healthy and they both play and there's not a 3rd guy, like if Zach Moss is just like a healthy scratch all year, they could both kind of be fine.
Eric, SOS. I'm studying an SOS, brother. Let's see who I'm going to add to this squad. It's kind of ugly. I have so much Jameis. I'm going to wait on quarterback. Tua is just falling for really no reason, but going to add Jahan Dotson, upside guy. If another rookie, he's getting expensive too. Like he's someone that was way cheaper earlier. Summarizing our last couple picks, I went Knox, Kenneth Walker, Landry, Williams, Dotson, and Davis went Singletary, Stevenson, Hardman, Trevor Lawrence, and Corey Davis. Why did you take Trevor Lawrence? Huge tier gap for you or what?
I mean, I I think that's just kind of a bet I'm trying to make right now. Is just like the anti Urban Meyer bet. We are really not that far removed from him being considered, a generational quarterback prospect. They signed a bunch of guys. I think this is interesting. They signed a bunch of guys who are decent, but no superstars, right? But still better than what they were throwing out on
Infinitely
offense
better.
last year. Yeah, I mean, Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, all of those guys are a lot better than Jamal Agnew, who is a converted cornerback. James O'Shaughnessy, Dan Arnold, and getting ETN back. And I mean, he's just like the backstop because I have Patrick Mahomes, and if Mahomes doesn't smash, I'm kind of screwed anyway.
I think in your situation, I'm probably pushing it a little bit more for the second quarterback. It feels like I like Lawrence, and I generally try to take him when I have one of ETN or Christian Kirk. But you can always get cheap stacks with him. And the other thing that feels a little wrong to me is that 2 rounds earlier, you could have Carr, Cousins, Rodgers, Stafford. Like, I just like these middle quarterbacks are all way too expensive compared to the elite guys. But like, he could be very good, and like maybe Kirk really fucking smashes this season. I don't know. Who's your favorite cheap wideout? Are you a Marvin Jones guy? Are you Zay Jones guy? Are you?
I mean, it's just almost out of just nostalgia at this point. I'm taking Laviska Shenault.
You okay? You are. You're back on the.
I just think he's better than Zay. I just think he's better than Zay Jones and Marvin Jones. No, it doesn't mean that he's gonna. The issue is he can only play in the slot, so they are gonna have to work things around in a way. But it's like, I don't know. It just like Marvin Jones is like 31. Zay Jones is like such a nothing NFL player. They did give Zay Jones crazy money. But it did to me. It just I don't know. Like if I was gonna draft a bunch of Laviska the last 2 years, I might as well take him while he's literally free.
Yeah, he could bury me. I have 0. Just because he's just not athletic enough.
He's closer to Jalen Reagor than being like a guy who's gonna matter. So I'm not saying you guys should be doing this, but I'm not like taking him every draft or whatever.
And you don't even need to, because you took Ingram in this draft.
Yeah.
I took Noah Fant. I said I was going to stop at 2 tight ends, but I just think Fant he had 3 spike weeks in him, above 15 points last year. Won me $1 million, obviously. But I think he has 3 to 4 spike weeks in him, which is like more than most like running backs in this range. Like, like some of these guys are going to hit, but like I think JD McKissick and Noah Fant could maybe have the same amount of spike weeks if Fant doesn't have like more, and he's an athletic freak. So really fun tight end group with me, for me. And also I was going to take like Nico Collins or Alec Pierce there, who Nico is getting real expensive with the Levitan bump. He used to be exclusively a 20th round pick. Isn't
it because John Mechie is hurt, so he's he's going to be on the pup.
Yeah, I think it's just like people are just betting that he's the wide receiver 2, and when you can guarantee you get a wide receiver 2. So Goff correlates with my team a little bit.
I like Goof. I like Goof even better in like a cumulative format too.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Mac though and just get a cheap stack with him. Because I like Mac. Gun to head, I think I like Mac more, and the market agrees. Now, I did take Mac, 3 rounds after you, so I have to say the same thing to myself. Is but this room just kind of sometimes you just get forced to take your quarterback too. I would have preferred to wait a couple more rounds, but I cannot risk missing out on all these guys. I think for my team. Davis took McKinnon. So, looking at the 2v2, I have Mac and Williams, and you have Lawrence and McKinnon. So, I don't know. Pretty close, actually. I like McKinnon's upside. How have you been?
I just like McKinnon with Mahomes teams because any damage he does is likely to be receiving.
And he's probably better on drafters too. Like maybe like if he does what he did at the end of the season, at the start of the season, that's money in the bank right there. Jordan said Wentz was anti-check down. Matt Ryan will help Hines quite a bit. Yeah, Jordan, I think I was like the originator.
You did. You originated the Wentz doesn't check down take.
Yeah, I said that Wentz was really bad. That's why I liked Hines so much. And Hines is actually one of my highest exposed players on Underdog because he used to be like a 17th round pick. But I've not been taking him for my portfolio where he goes usually now. He's just gotten too expensive. We'll look through my exposures on drafters after this. Maybe Davis wants to share some of his players.
I just have not been drafting very much on here.
Well, we're gonna do one a week minimum.
Maybe yeah, I'll join some slows and stuff a little bit closer to the season.
So your wedding's coming up. What are you doing the honeymoon right away or?
Yeah, so this is my plan. We're leaving. We're going out of the country right away. Afterward, my plan is as we are going to getting into the airport. When we leave, I'm gonna join like 40 or 50 slow drafts because I don't think you can join from Jamaica is where we're going. I don't think I can join fast. So I'm just gonna pile up the slows on every format right when we leave.
So are you what dates are you not in the US?
August 15th to August 20th, I think.
Oh, okay. So not that long. So you're gonna still be here for like I was wondering if you're gonna miss like the start of DFS or the start of the
no. We can't have that, bro. We cannot have no chance I'm missing a week of DFS.
You only have NFL Week 1 once in your life. That's what they say often.
Correct. Yeah.
The 2022 season at least.
Yeah. Correct.
All right, guys. Twist my arm. I'll take Will Fuller. Dude, I literally Googled Will Fuller news the other day. And
there's nothing, bro. There's literally
his Instagram's been deleted. That's a bad sign. Usually that's like a mental health sign, like when someone's like trying to,
which is what the rumors were when before we even knew about this finger injury, the rumors were that the reason he wasn't playing for the Dolphins was because he just didn't want to.
Well, who would last year? I mean, the Dolphins were a weird fucking team. Like they're telling, maybe Brian Flores was like, "Hey, man, they're telling me to tank here," and Fuller's like, "Fuck this." Also, why did Fuller not just sign with a good team? I don't know what he was doing last year. I don't know, man. Over under 6 games played. Will Fuller in the year of 2022.
I really hope over because I've been drafting him, and I really hope he signs with the Bills or the Ravens or the Chiefs or someone good and fun. But I think I am purely wish casting. Like I don't think that seems super likely. I mean, training camps are starting today. Rookies reported for the Falcons yesterday. The Raiders have veterans reporting today, and we got de nada. We got.
Is there any precedent for players that when players should sign in his situation? Julio's not signed either. Are these signed the last week? Are they just skipping camp? Are they
well, let's see. So let's see
offers or what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I mean, when I was thinking was AJ Green a free agent last year? Is that a close
comp? All right, everyone is gross real quick for my team, so I'm going to take Wentz and throw in the third quarterback to correlate with my Dotson and my Gibson a little bit. Keep going.
So AJ Green in 2020 signed on July 17th with the Bengals. He re-signed a 1-year deal with them. Maybe is that a comp? I don't know. I can't tell if that's a
re-sign, So that's a little different.
That's different.
I think we need
who is the last guy that kind of meets this criteria? I can't even.
There's countless each year. Larry Fitzgerald every year, but he was always re-signing. Who is a player who?
Here, let me.
Help
I
us
will
in
just
the chat, guys. Help us in the chat.
I'm gonna sort Pro Football Reference by age and just see if I can come up with something.
I'm gonna rack my brain and just think of some wideouts.
When did Manny Sanders sign for the Bills last year?
Pretty early, and the Bills also courted him like every year.
Okay. Julio was when did T.Y. Hilton show up for the Colts? It was a re-sign, but he didn't show up for a while, right?
I'm not sure about that, but yeah, again, the re-sign is not.
Yeah,
like,
no, this is not. This is
the
we're
re-sign
not.
isn't only a Brady phone call can save Fuller. That would be fun. Sign me up.
Fitzgerald, Danny Amendola. There is a good one. Dusty old wide receiver who went on a bunch of different teams.
He's the guy we'll use for Cole Beasley because Cole Beasley isn't necessarily retired.
So the Texans didn't sign Danny Amendola until September 8th last year.
Wow, but that was like, didn't they like look? That team was so bad that like maybe they looked at their team and they're like, "What the fuck? We need like sure, give me anyone to fill the stadium."
Deshaun Jackson is that?
I would say yeah, that's a good comp. When did he sign with the Rams?
So the Rams, dude, no, March 26th he signed with the Rams. The Raiders signed Deshaun Jackson on November 8th. Did he even play for them? He did. He got
one like he always gets 180-yard touchdown with every season.
Yeah. So really, this is what I would say is if Julio and Odell find contracts and we still got nothing on Fuller, I think we should just stop drafting him entirely.
Yeah, I think we give it like 2 weeks after those guys are signed just to see if there's a little flag there.
No, 2 weeks is too many.
1 week, at least 1 week.
Because I think that those guys are the market makers for veteran wide receivers, and Fuller should rightfully want more money than Julio, and probably about the same as Odell.
That's true. Like he could be like who's his agent? I tried to even Google that. Like I want to tweet at that dude. Like
William
your boy Fuller.
Fuller IV agent.
Ivy. He's 5. Will Fuller the 5, not the 4th.
No, it's IV. Oh no, it is just V. It is just V. You're right.
Put some respect on that man's name.
Not seeing any reports on who his agent is. Oh, Brian Aralt of CAA Sports.
Man,
should we see if we can get in contact with Mr. Aralt?
Yes, invite him on the channel.
I bet I can find his email.
Hey man, you want to join my charity stream? Anyways, tell us about Will Fuller.
Dude, he's got a Twitter.
Wow.
I will DM you. I will DM you his Twitter.
What I should have done at the start of the season, I was thinking this yesterday, is I should have DM'd Will Fuller. Hey man, I'll give you $10,000 right now if you tell me if you're playing this year or not. It's between you and me. It's purely for my drafting. But like, if you knew if Will Fuller was playing and you just hammered him like 100%, like, I don't know. That seems like a profitable. I took Foreman. That's probably going to be my last wide receiver. I'm doing the old 3-5-9-3 construction. That's like the default DK construction, I would say. And
I took 6 running backs because I only have one good running back.
That's fair. I mean, like with me having Montgomery, Dobbins, and Gibson, like I'm kind of counting on at least 2 of these guys.
Yeah, five for you is right. I think 6 for me is right.
I could go 6-2 at running back and stop at 8 wide receivers because I do have 3 really good wideouts. But then I also have guys I don't know when they're playing or if they're playing, and Williams and Fuller. I think one of the worst places for Fuller to sign would be like the Titans, who like I saw one.
I mean, no, dude, the Titans could totally work out where
I mean, I'll take anyone, but
the Titans is fine. He's their play action guy for the first 2 months of the season while Burks is figuring out the NFL. That's fine.
Yeah, they just don't run 3 wide receivers that much.
Well, he would play over Burks.
Paul asked, is draft strategy different for drafters considering there is no playoffs? Yes, Paul.
Yes.
Extremely. Like I'm not building many dusty running back teams on my underdog portfolio, but in drafters, like, the points week 1 count the same as the points week 17. So you can ignore week 17 correlation. You just need to build a team that can build the most points. And you want to be conscious. I wrote an article on this that you can find on fantasypoints.com, kind of like reviewing drafter strategy, but like what the 4-hole did here, Jackson and Prescott, I would advise against that, because you don't need to just beat your room. You need to beat the field. Everyone in the contest you're competing against. Okay. The wide receivers.
I gotta take another tight end, and it is real thin.
I'll take a look there. Who the fuck is the guy on New England? The rookie. What's his name?
Rookie. Tyquan
Thornton.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I think he's fine.
I actually have a lot of him on drafters, I found out, but he's the last pass catcher I could get with Mac, so that's why. And I didn't like. I'm not stamping the ground for AJ Green, even though he's probably a great pick on drafters. Like I just hate clicking that button, man.
Drafters does kind of reward the old dusty guys much more than the playoff formats.
Yeah, like if AJ Green is only giving you like, if he gives you like 3 usable weeks while Hopkins is out and then gives you like 1 more, you're like, cash it. But I don't know. Like,
all right, this one's for you, Corain. Greg Dulcich, welcome.
I'm surprised you passed on Jeff Wilson for. But you have LaVisca. I like Zay Jones. I think like
it's like one of those spots where I acknowledge I could very well be wrong.
Yeah, the hype on Dulcich is it's picking up. Now, the beat reporter was like 70 who was like reporting that, and he also said that Dulcich is faster than Albert O. So this shit
is all not real, dude. They are not playing like they want to win the Super Bowl this year. They are not playing a rookie tight end.
I could see them running a lot of 2 tight end though.
Did they do that very much in Seattle? I don't think so. Maybe they did. I don't know.
Not about Seattle. It's about
they are building this for Russ. And if Russ wants to play in 12, but most quarterbacks are not going to want to play in 12 unless the tight ends are really good.
Maybe goal line at least, like having
sure.
Like touchdowns matter a little bit less on drafters, but they're still important. Everything is thin. I like the Dulcich pick a lot for you. Like some people are on the K. Dotton train. I'm not really there. Gronk getting drafted. I like that. I'll be drafting some Gronk teams.
Yeah, still. Gronk, especially in the 20 round formats, right? So I think there's a big difference in the 20 round. Like I actually just took Gronk in the 22nd round of the Scott Fish Bowl, which felt like a literal no-brainer.
Yeah, like I want to build some 20th round Gronk teams because I'm not convinced he's retired. And
did you see the quote from his girlfriend yesterday?
I did see that.
Yeah, so his and I famously, the last time we did this, which was like a million years ago, I took Gronk because I was like, oh, I messed up this draft already, so I need to take a swing. And then he retired like as we ended the stream.
That was a rough draft for you. You
it was not good. This was better.
20 picks above ADP, and then you took Gronk the minutes before he retired.
Yeah.
But for those, he's a guy who I'm hoping can give my team 3 spike weeks at least. Should be the wide receiver 3. Deep
I don't hate that at all.
I got quite a bit of him actually on drafters.
Let's see. That I think is bad. I think he did because so like the idea with the 20th.
Oh, he's a 20th round pick.
Well, so I think the idea should be you should either have one. I think this guy can fill in a couple holes for me, or 2. Like I think you got to classify like is this a hole filler or is this guy a potential smash if X, Y, and Z goes his way. And I think you want to be drafting a greater percentage of the potential smashers if 9 things go their way than hole fillers. And Quez, I think, is only a hole filler.
We're talking about 20th round wide receivers. So for me, it's kind of just like, this is a guy.
Yeah, but I think you want to scattershot those guys. I don't hate the pick, but I think if you're like, I'm taking him 14% of the time, I think that is way too much.
I've had some success just hammering the same wide receivers in the late rounds in past years.
Oh, this fucking guy.
And
Winner of the largest. I mean, pretty soon we're going to be saying that you're the winner of the second smallest best ball contest ever,
unless I
though.
repeat, baby. um, I mean, Chase Claypool's rookie year, I just took him every time. At the end, that worked out. I don't think Quez Watkins. I understand what you're saying. Like Khalil Shakir, he's a guy who has a
Exactly. If Isaiah McKenzie is only a punt returner and Jamison Crowder gets hurt, like all of a sudden like 800 yards and 6 touchdowns is there for Khalil Shakir, maybe.
Yeah, but he's still like he's got to compete with Cook. He's got to compete with whatever. He's got to compete with 2 tight ends. So summarizing our teams, I went with a. Let me see if there's a better way to do this in the draft board. Let me jump in here.
Oh no, what'd you do? Oh,
Yeah,
are we recapping our teams?
Yeah, real quick, gonna recap. I went with a 3-5-9-3. Here's the squad. Davis, what was your roster construction?
I did the 2-6-9-3. So I swapped an extra running back. When you take, well, I think it's fine to do 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends here, but the roster I drafted needed a 6th running back more than it needed a 3rd quarterback because my running back room is a bunch of 0 RB guys who may or may not have a job for the entire season.
Yeah, I built a lot of teams that way. The 2-6-9-3. That's a fun and good roster construction, I think. Real quick, I want to show off some tools on drafters. And Davis, if you can do this on your end, you can. If you go under your name and you click ownership, it will show you your exposures, and it has my ADP and the ADP of the current field right now. Some hits and misses in my portfolio. You see Gabriel Davis, my ADP is 50. His ADP now is 43. If you just sort from my ADP,
I haven't done enough of the. I think I've only done 6, so I just
you haven't done enough, but you did some early in the season, so you can at least see some.
Let's see here. I'll sort.
You can if you sort by my ADP and like you can just kind of go through the rounds.
I got well my ADP is higher on Dalvin Cook, but I got I have some 3rd round Saquon. Now he's a 2nd round pick. That's a good one. I have some later Keenan Allen. Yeah, I mean, I just drafted early, and obviously I'm better than everyone, so my prices are good.
I have some good hits in this portfolio, like Mike Williams, small win there. But like you can see, this is what I was talking about. Like my ADP on Mahomes is 35. His ADP now is 52. It's only one team I have him on. Pittman, a little bit cheaper now. Or more expensive now. Where's some miss it? Like my Burks ADP is obviously very bad. My Gibson ADP is pretty bad. My Juju ADP is good.
Yeah, dude, learn to read the room, bro. Come on.
Like my ADP 56, 57, the ADP now 47, 49.
This would be a cool feature for other websites to add. That would
I think Spike Week does this too.
Beim4 hasn't. Beim4 has not hooked me up yet with my Spike Week tools.
Me either. You can see Gage and Kirk are huge wins for my portfolio. Like Gage,
dude. Can we talk about how absolutely insane Gage's ADP is? Like, totally the people who are drafting him early. Congrats to you. You had the foresight. You're the man. Whatever.
Thank you.
There is absolutely no fucking way that Russell Gage is a league winner at a 6th round ADP. Not a chance.
That is something, yeah. Like he's getting I mean, I have a lot from earlier in the season, at least on Underdog. He's one of the first guys I touted too on a show, along with Dalton Schultz, another riser. But I can't click the button in the 6th and 7th. Like, yes, I think he has 4 or more 25-point weeks in him, but I don't know. It's just a really fucking tough click for the playoff format sites. Trey Lance, like you could see Trey Lance and Kadarius Toney. These are huge risers. Kind of cool to look through this just to remind yourself of the risers and fallers of the off season if you would. All right, Davis. That's going to end us mostly for today. We'll be back next week with another Drafters. I have another stream tonight at 8 p.m. Professional poker player Matt Berkey. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Davis, what do you want to close the show with? What do you got going on? Is there a Swolecast today?
There actually is a Swolecast today, so you guys can go and watch that. You can also listen to it on the podcast feed if you're listening to this on a podcast. And yeah, we are just gonna keep grinding. We're gonna keep grinding out these streams. We're doing our thing, man.
Hey, sign up on drafters.com, promo code ChessLiam or Davis. Hope to see you guys in these streams. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and most importantly, have a great day.